Welcome everybody to another episode of Non-Fungible News. Today we have Tyler or Nebula Matrix on here with us. Before we get started, if you could hit the like, hit the subscribe, and be the first to know about new interviews, projects, get to know yous, and everything else that we do on this channel. So welcome, Tyler. How's it going today?
Man, it's going good. I've been having a good day thus far. A beautiful weekend. Can't complain. How's your day been going?
So far, so good. Been playing Legos with my son.
Oh, you can't beat that, man. You can't beat that.
Weekends, for the most part, taking the time off and doing the family stuff. You know, it's important. So for those of you who don't know, Tyler's in the safe swap, safe haven, inheritance protocol. So Tyler, why don't you go ahead and give the layperson an explanation of what you have going on, what you guys are offering, what you do.
Yeah, sure, man. I'd love to. So Safe Haven, the primary flagship product is Inherit. And Inherit is a Web3 platform that enables people to go set up decentralized inheritance plans to where if they pass away, they can ensure that their loved ones can get access to the private keys that give access to the NFTs and the crypto. So it's a really seamless platform. You go on there, you essentially type in all the data, and then whenever you go to pay for the plan, it costs 10,000 SHA, and you'll insert safe key devices. And each safe key device will save the plan shares for each beneficiary, and there'll be a PIN code associated with each safe key device. So once the plan's saved, you give each beneficiary their safe key device along with the merge authority, who is the person in charge of essentially seeing through the merging process whenever you pass away. So long story short, when you pass away, your kids would meet with the merge authority, and then they'd say, okay, let's combine our plan shares. So they type in their PIN codes that only they know, and then all the plan shares would combine. And then the protocol would notice, wait, there's a plan share missing. Oh, it's the validator share. It's on the blockchain. So how do you unlock that validator share? It's tied to a DMS, a dead man switch. So what does that dead man switch mean? Well, whenever your beneficiaries meet with that merge authority to merge those plan shares, the only way that it can unlock is if that DMS bypasses. So there's two different ways that it could get bypassed, like essentially avoid the activation of releasing the share. You respond to the email that gets sent to your email address that you put whenever you're setting up your plan. It could be the amount of days that you set up, like 15, 30 days, etc. And then the other option is logging into the platform itself with your Safe ID account, and that will reset it and make it to where they can't unlock the validator share. So that's a secondary feature, like a secondary protection that ensures that nobody can get that digital data, because that's another important thing I want people to understand. This decentralized inheritance plan, it's not your tokens or your cryptos going inside the plan, it's data. It's just data, the mnemonic phrases that you need to recover the wallets, because that's what they need to be able to access it. So how is it going to become more revolutionary as we expand other features? Well, we're going to be releasing Inherit Mobile this year, and it's going to be coming up soon. And Inherit Mobile is going to essentially allow the beneficiaries not to use safe key devices, or even possibly the merge authority. We're going to kind of explore that option and release it through a medium announcement of how we're going to allow people to choose what they want to do. But we have some really interesting things in mind. So yeah, Inherit Mobile, instead of them getting the safe key device, what you would do is you would essentially whitelist the plan shares to their Safe ID account. And then you would tell them, go log into your Safe ID account, download the Inherit Mobile application, and then you'll see your plan shares stored in the Inherit Vault. It's like a decentralized key form, and only they will be able to access it because it's linked to them, their Safe ID account. So then they're going to establish their own PIN code through the application. The owner of a state wouldn't even know the PIN code because the beneficiary is claiming it. And it's like another layer if you think about it. So also, once that plan share gets downloaded to the mobile application, they'll have the option to store a backup in that vault just in case if they lose their mobile device, to where they can get a new mobile device, log in with Safe ID again, and reclaim the plan shares. And we are also looking to make it compatible with SafeKey Desktop tool, to where people can essentially backup shares on the sticky device, even if they have them on mobile as well, to where they could have cold stored backup shares. So that's Inherity in a nutshell. Now, as far as SafeSwap, because you asked about SafeSwap, that's one that everybody's been going crazy over because it's going to allow VeChain and other projects to scale to new levels. Now, what do I mean by that? So, excuse me 1 second.
It's going to be huge. We know that, right?
Yeah. So it's an atomic swapping platform. And essentially what's happening is the only way that you can get the tokens from another chain is if you lock tokens from the native chain or the chain that you already have access to, right? So let's give an example. Let's say that you'd have to go to SafeSwap, and then let's say it was 10,000 SHA that you wanted to swap over to Binance Smart Chain. Then you connect your decentralized wallet to the platform, and then you'd fill out the contract, and then you'd input the amount that you wanted to swap. And then it would take those tokens from your wallet after you sign the contract, and then it would lock those tokens. And then it would unlock 10,000 SHA on the BEP20 chain. See how that works? It's not like other swaps to where the whole supply is minted on another chain and it's not regulated well. That's the beauty about atomic swaps. It regulates the supply and it makes sure that there's no funny business going on. So that's great for safe haven because it allows us to scale to new chains and like have products like Inherity contracts. We'll be able to start making new smart contracts where people can create an Inherity plan and have the validator shares stored on a Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, or Matic, and all the other future chains that we'll add for support for SafeSwap in the future. But what does it do for the other projects? Well, Ethereum, everybody knows about the high gas fees that they have, and there's a lot of projects that have been on Ethereum for a long time, and they started developing their NFTs over there. And if they want to go cross chain, whenever they start implementing gaming protocols, they could essentially delegate a certain portion of their supply as a foundation and do an atomic swap and move that over to VeChain to where their community could utilize that supply, that percentage of the supply, because they can then take that supply and go put it on an exchange and list it on an exchange. They can go on the exchange, let's say, or ZumoSwap, right? If they wanted to go list on a decentralized exchange, and possibly even SafeSwap whenever we look to scale to those levels. Or they can go to a centralized exchange with their liquidity. So what does that mean though? Now that means that their community can go to an exchange and buy a token type of their ecosystem that's the same, it's just on a different chain, and use it in a cheaper fashion. So if they're having to do a lot of different executions on the gaming platform, let's say 20 different transactions, nobody's going to want to pay $4,000 for gas or $400 for gas. They'd rather pay a couple bucks. And that's where VTHO comes into play. So that's why SafeSwap's so exciting for everybody, because it's not only exciting for our community and getting our products on other chains to service other people, it's also allowing people to come onto VeChain, build on top of the amazing blockchain, and utilize all the features as well. And I don't want anybody to get the wrong opinion about me saying moving to different chains, moving to different chain. It's not about that. I love VeChain. I love it. But you have maximalists out there, some people who don't want to move off of the chain. And if they want their inheritance plan to be on a different chain, who are we to stop them? We're providing a service to all different DeFi ecosystems. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, that's huge. That's something that everybody is pumped about, excited about, everybody's looking forward to. So back to a little bit on Inherity. So there's a lot more than just blockchain that Inherity protects, correct? I mean, correct. you can put family photographs, you can put anything in there, correct?
Well, not photographs yet. That's coming in version 2 of the Inherity Vault whenever we add the Negotium network. And that's whenever people will be able to store large data files, documents, videos, and that will be a different plan type altogether. That's going to be different than the community edition. It will more than likely be a subscription-based fee, and that's whenever node holders will be able to take advantage of their immediate rewards and get discounts on subscriptions. And yeah, but as far as what data it can protect right now, it's not just blockchain related data, like you were saying. It could be family recipes. It could be even some type of schematic or formula if you're a scientist, right? Could be anything, song lyrics. Yeah.
So what inspired all this?
That's not really the best question to ask me, because I'm not the founder and I didn't have any hand in creating this tech. I mean, I give some suggestions and feedback whenever we're developing and like stuff like that, but that's 100% Jurgen and Andy. They're the brains behind this beautiful beast. And I did ask them though, so I can give you their answer to me, and don't take it word verbatim, but this is just based off of memory. So long story short, they were all working in their own little fields. Jurgen's been working in the parliament for a long time, over a decade, man. He's like the only one that can do what's required over there. It's crazy. But so anyway, they all decided to take a step away from their careers and step out and do something great. And they all discussed it in a Belgian pub. Believe it or not, they came up with the discussion of creating all this in the Belgian pub. And that's pretty much what I got from it. And they just used their different skill sets and intellect on how to merge it all together. I mean, Andy, he's the COO. Jurgen, he's the CTO, and he's also acting as CEO. But Andy, he's doing a lot of front end development, application work. He built the whole SafeNode application where our community goes and stakes off of well, some people who don't have nodes, they can stake without a node, but then you also have nodes and you can stake in other pools. So, but it's where people set up nodes as well. So yeah, really proud of our team and what they've built and how far they've come, because not many people can build during a bear market like that, especially with limited funding in the beginning. Not many people think about that, but Safe Haven wasn't given a lot of funding like all these other projects, and look how far we've come.
Yeah, so 5 years, right? It started in 2017.
Yeah, it's pushing up to 5 now. We just hit the 4-year mark on the last birthday in December. But we're in year 5 now. Yeah, it's approaching. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So everybody that's in the space, that's in the blockchain, and that doesn't matter what blockchain, we all understand the importance of this, because I've had conversations with my wife and people that I'm bringing into the space they're like, okay, so you got a series of these words that you write down, and that is supposed to protect all of your assets. And there's a lot of skepticism, as we all know, because we become the people in our circles in life and our communities that know about this stuff. So we're all 100% on board with this. I mean, yeah, this is needed, very much needed. What about people that are not into crypto right now, that see crypto as a risk in itself? So this is like another layer of risk, because not only am I giving X amount of money to a cryptocurrency and assuming it's going to work out well for me, now I'm gonna protect myself with another layer of the same stuff that is gotten me into the crypto in the first place. Is this just a surefire way to get screwed? How are we going to draw new people in? Is this going to bring people into the crypto space, or is the crypto space? I believe
so. I think this is going to be one of those things that puts everybody's conscience at ease, because like you were saying, it is a very complicated thing to think about whenever it's getting brought onto you at first. So there's all these words, and that's what gives access to my wallet. Well, how do I ensure all this? Well, the beautiful part is we built a platform to allow people to ensure that those passwords and words stay protected, and they can get to the people that they need to, so they don't have to keep them written on a piece of paper in a safe, or whichever way that they have it, or on a plate, on the titanium plate, because there's house fires that could even burn through those plates and whatnot. They do get up hot enough. So that's my answer. I believe that Inherity is going to be that product that enables people to diminish those concerns and feel confident about getting into crypto and not losing access or allowing their family to lose access if they're on a vacation one day and something happens.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that uncertainty. So, but I think that this is going to be huge, and I think that my personal opinion is that a project like this could bring people, to feeling comfortable with putting their money in, because you got the military grade encryption and everything else. It's secure. It's sound as an Irish pound, and I love it. It's going to help. I know it's going to help. So for people that aren't in crypto, who would your counterpart be in the traditional finance world? Like, what are you guys, closest to mimicking in the traditional finance world?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like you were mentioning earlier, as far as what type of data can you protect, is it just blockchain related? And it's vast. So when you start to think about it, you can protect a lot of different things in the traditional world, such as pre-patents that haven't been seen by anybody yet. Like, let's say that you're working on a documentation of some sort, and you have the final draft done in a sense, right? But you don't want anybody else to be able to access it unless they have one of those safe key devices. Well, whenever we get to the part of our evolution where we have the Negotium network developed where they could store those large data document files, that's a really, really good tool for those traditional people. They could buy the safe key devices, set up their inheritance plan for the Negotium network to have, a secure storage for all their documents. And then whenever they need to access them and do something or even change or omit before they do their final filings, whether it's a patent or filing for a company or anything, a token contract, because you don't want people to be able to see your token contracts if you're working on it. So many different things. That's what they could use it for. So, but that token contract, that was relating to crypto, so that doesn't count because you asked me about traditional. So sorry about that.
Well, no worries. So let's, what can this do for a business? If you got I don't know, say there's an equal partnership of 8 guys that are in this. Right now, is there a business plan? Is there a business plan in the works? How would the dead man switch and all that integrate with equal partnerships across the board?
Yeah, so we're going to be developing a business continuity plan for the actual platform itself, to where it's going to tailor towards those certain business people's needs, so that they can manage a wallet from multiple different accounts, decentralized in a sense. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now, as far as the tech, like the difference is, it's all relating to the Negotium network. I know I keep saying that, but that's a very detrimental part to expanding the features of Inherit, because right now it's just HashiCorp based for Inherit Vault, which that's totally cool. It's fine. It's what we need for Inherit Mobile. That's why we created version 1 of Inherit Vault to where Inherit Mobile could work as it needed to. But for those who don't know, HashiCorp is just used for storing like secrets, like small phrases, like small bits of data. It's not a framework built for doing large stuff like the Negotium network will be. And it's hard for me to go into any more detail than that because I'm not a coder and I'm not a smart contract developer. I'm like a visionary, and I create tokenomics for like other stuff and whatnot. But that's not my forte. I don't create technology. I can understand it whenever someone explains it to me. But like, as far as the Negotium network goes, that's going to be Jurgen's baby. And he's going to implement some serious protocols that only he has the intellect of how to do to make it work. So, that doesn't mean that it's going to take longer or whatever. We're planning on getting started on the Negotium network at around probably towards the end of Q3, start of Q4 this year, because around then we'll have Inherit Mobile out. We'll have SafeSwap, fully running with like version 2 by then, with a lot of partners listed, and we'll be moving on to the next phase, and we'll be looking to further build out the Trust Alliance network, the TAN platform. And let me just kind of go over that really quick. The TAN platform is, think of it like this. It's a platform where lawyers and people who are estate planners can go and provide their services to the clients of Inherit. So if a client of Inherit is looking for someone within their jurisdiction that has the intellect of how to set up the plan to where they don't get messed with the governments, and then they reach out to that person like, hey, you're in my jurisdiction, what's your service fees, how much does it cost to get advisement and notarizations, whatever you might need to make your estate plan 100% solidified. Because We just provide the tech to allow you to pass the data. Now, as far as how your heirs go about claiming the inheritance and like the legalities behind that, that's between them and their estate lawyer, really. We're just there to provide the tools to allow them to not have the lawyer see those private keys before the beneficiaries get it, to where the lawyers can't steal stuff.
Right.
Because people don't think about that too. Like, oh, what, you just create an estate plan, you put the private keys in there, and the lawyer's holding the document there, and he gets a wild hair because he sees Bitcoin go up 5x, and he's like, oh, maybe I can activate this inheritance plan, cash out, wait for that thing to tank, and then get their tokens back, and then put it back like they didn't know. Like, that's why this is also important, why you need a decentralized protocol, why you need patented products, because our stuff, it's patented.
So what is coming in the near future for you guys? I mean, you got any juicy news that you can throw out for us?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about a partner. We've got multiple partners being announced. There's a lot of them coming, but I wanted to touch on this one because it's going to be announced before the other ones. Black V Market. They're going to have a really, really cool integration with Inherit. Essentially, it's going to be a grandfathered in scenario. So by Black V Market making a partnership with Inherit, any project that gets incubated or supported on Black V Market will essentially have a partnership with Inherit as well. And we will make it to where their actual referral gets inputted within the format, like the layout of creating a plan. Because when you're creating a plan in Inherit, you'll see the referral fee structure, or the not referral fee, but the referral like that you're trying to give to who basically is the reason that you're creating that plan, right? So when the person's making their plan, let's say that that they're wanting to support Ganja Girls and Vemans and Flippos off of Black V Markets, then they'll click all three of them, and that 5% will get equally distributed to all of them. Because as people make the contracts and whatnot, we get their wallet addresses for the foundation and whatnot, or their wallet, right? And at the end of the period, whenever we do our disbursements, they'll get their portion depending on how many plans are created through their referral links. And some of our partners are actually taking 100% of their reward and thinking of ways to give it back to their community, to make more plans, or just to reward them for protecting their NFTs and their ecosystem, which I think is really cool. So that's a really big announcement, because you really got to think about that. We partner with Black V Market, and now every NFT project that comes out on their platform will be partnered with us, and they'll have the capability to receive some type of referral fee, in a sense, if the user of that NFT project on Black V Market wants it all to go to them. So it's going to be intense.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's you know, a lot of that community driven stuff that we were talking about before we started recording, is that, you know, the community is huge. They look out for one another. And you know, I get the feeling, because I've been in Cardano a little bit and minimal on Ethereum.
I've dabbled too. Yeah.
But just the feel on VeChain and the community that we're both in on the Twitter and everywhere else, I mean, it's a
night and day.
It's a night and day. It's a warm welcome. And I mean, hell, if somebody new comes in, they're getting followed, they're getting free NFTs thrown at them, they're getting everything else. Somebody gets hacked, like we saw happen recently, or got all their stuff stolen. Somebody's building a little fundraiser project or something to get people back up on their feet. And at this point, you know, everybody says it, I say it, we're early. We're going to be the pioneers. We're going to be the people, like the base layer of this community, you know, a year from now, because we all know what's coming this year. It's huge. We see the stable coin in the wallet now. We see everything coming.
And that's going to be big, brother. That's going to be huge. VEUSD. Ooh, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be dynamite. I can't wait to see what the end of this year brings. So I've only been in crypto for about a year now, and I've evolved a lot over the last year. And you know, I'm excited to see what's coming down the line.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on, and all the collaborations between all the VNFT projects and whatnot. I just love it. I love seeing projects get together and figure out how to blend their artwork to make a very, very unique NFT that's limited. Sometimes it's one of one, or sometimes it's like 1 of 25, 1 of 50. And they'll do interesting ways to sell it too. They'll have it to where like you could buy some of the NFTs in this token or some of the NFTs in this token to kind of support further projects within the ecosystem when they don't even have to do that. Like, what other community is doing that?
Right.
It's you see people saying, okay, you get whitelisted this NFT project if you have an NFT from this project. I mean, it's awesome to just see that people are opening up their doors to other people who are affiliated with another project that they're not making any money off of whatsoever.
Right.
Not whatsoever. They're just like, look, we appreciate you. We respect you in the V fam. We see you building on VeChain, and we want to make it to where your community can become a part of ours.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
And you guys are protecting everybody's unique assets. I love it.
That's it.
One more thing. How many users do you guys have at this point?
It's always fluctuating. As far as right now, we've had a little bit over 275, 300 inheritance plans made, which doesn't sound like a lot, I know, because we've had the platform open since September of 2020. 2020. And just a little bit over a year now, just a little bit over a year. But we don't have that many wallet holders in Safe Haven. We've got, I want to say, right at around 6,600, 6,650, somewhere around there. So under 7,000 wallet holders. So that's not a bad statistic for the amount of holders, because, with products, the stat that I look at and I see around the world, less than 10% of people usually use products in the ecosystem, even if they're a part of it. So we're right at around that range if you think about it. So it's not nothing appalling to me, because as we grow, as we make these partnerships and we scale and have these community members come in, we'll see more and more and more plans get created. And as more plans get created, it further validates the solution and it makes everyone else become a part of it. So I'm really excited for this year. All the other years were years of building a strong foundation, getting the products ready. And now we're just rolling it out, ready to make extensions, launching upgrades, collaborations to enhance utility of all these products. And one thing I want to point out, because we brought up VEUSD, we're going to have a lot of involvement with that on SafeSwap, and it's going to be very exciting. And one other thing I want to say about SafeSwap for node holders, this has been going through the grapevine, and I do want to confirm it. There is going to be a portion of listing fees going towards node utility rewards. So every time a project will get listed to SafeSwap, there will be a fee structure of some sort, depending on that entity, where they are in their phase of development and how big they are. And from that fee, a portion of it will go to node utility rewards for all the holders to equally share. And for those who don't know what that means, there's Connect Node, Harbor Node, Consensus Node, Legacy Node. It's 3%, 8%, 32%, and 57%. And the way that it works is, if you got, let's say, if you got the biggest node, the legacy, you're sharing 57% of all those utility rewards with everyone else who has a legacy node, which there's not many. So it's a very, very rewarding structure depending on which tier you're in. Hell, even the Connect node's a rewarding structure. It really is. So now, and take that with a grain of salt, because there's probably people saying, oh, well, I haven't gotten a lot of rewards. But yeah, because the utility's still building. But all these partnerships, all these levels of scalability, that's what's going to bring what you've been waiting for. So just be a little bit more patient, keep spreading the word, keep looking into what we're building, because we're always building something epic and new to expand crypto and hodl tight and make an inheritance plan.
Patience, that's the key word for crypto. Know what you're getting into and be patient. And you don't have a care in the world, because you know what's coming, right?
That's right.
Well, we just got a couple minutes left here. Do you have any final parting words? I mean, you made a big announcement. That's freaking huge, awesome, exciting. Any final words to just add before we close up?
I do. I've got some other exciting news that I want to share with everybody. So we've been working on some safe haven and NFT collaborations actually with other NFT projects. So we've got one coming up January 28th or 29th. I'm pretty sure it's the 29th if memory is serving correctly. But Jason, he's the creator of Universe on VC. Man, his NFTs from the first drop, they sold in under 4 minutes. I was trying to get one and I couldn't get one. And it's on me, man. I was like 15 minutes late. I was in a meeting and I couldn't go to my computer and all that time, a minute at the time. So by the time I got there, they were all gone. I was like, damn it. But yeah, he's got a really great project and he's coming out with another drop on the 29th. 40 NFTs will be dropped and 3 lucky people who mint will get airdropped 10,000 SHA tokens to create an inheritance plan for free. Nice. So what's going to happen is after the mint's done, all the token IDs will go into like a random number generator. And then whichever 3 token IDs get pulled up, we're going to scan, see the blockchain because it's all public. And then we're going to see that address and just deposit that 10,000 SHA. And that's going to be our way of just starting to show people like, hey, start protecting what you got. And that's one thing we're working out with. We've got another VNFT project that we're working with. I'm really excited about that one, but I can't get into too much about that one because we have a Medium article that's going to further announce all of our dealings with them because they've been doing a lot of stuff with us behind the scenes lately, and it's really exciting. Which brings me to the next thing. VNFT songs that are coming out, VNFT node, or excuse me, V song NFTs for our community. We're going to have one for the community to go mint and get off the world of V. It's going to be very, very limited. And then another one, it's going to be airdropped to ambassador, to ambassadors for the node. So like if you reach the 6-month tier within the ambassador, within the node system, then you're an ambassador. So like the Connect node, if you want to start one, you got to have a million SHA and then you wait 30 days and now you have the node. Then it starts maturing. So after 6 months from you having that node from the 30-day period, then you'd be an ambassador and you'd be getting airdrop one of these brand new VNFT node ambassador songs. And the additions are going to be limited to the amount of ambassadors that enter the ecosystem, which is also really cool. So as our community grows and we get more node holders who become the ambassadors because they're holding and they're getting that status, they get airdropped that really cool NFT, which will also provide unique capabilities in the safe haven meetups that we're going to have in the future when COVID calms down and all that, because you know how all that stuff is right now. And we've been exploring doing special NFT airdrops to those people who have those ambassador NFTs, and specifically NFTs that would relate to stuff that happened at the meetup. So it's going to be a whole cool little memorabilia thing that's going to provide utility in unique ways.
That's awesome. That's even more reason to get involved in the community, because that unique stuff to be a part of. I mean, yeah, that's all huge. That's all awesome. You know, years down the road when you were part of the first Safe Swap meetup, and you have, whatever collectible NFT from it, that's going to be really big.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I'm just so excited for everybody because, I mean, this year's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts.
Hell yeah, it is. Well, that's going to wrap us up for today. I appreciate your time, and we'll have to check in here in the next couple months and reassess, see where we're at with everything.
Yeah, by all means, man. I'd love to come up here, chop it up with you and talk about what we got going on. Thanks for having me on here today, and I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Well, talk to you soon. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Later.
Later.
All right.